The concern level for Hendrick Motorsports,
Starting to get a little
as
concerning.
that little red emoji that goes like this, yeah, we are now down and it's going up. So
Stand and wave and make some noise. It is
what is going on, everybody? Welcome into another edition of the Tuesday Track Talk podcast featuring your Three Stones pit crew. I am your gas man Cam.
Jackman Kel.
I'm your tire changer Cam.
And we got another loaded episode for you here today. But before we hop into things, don't be afraid to like, comment, subscribe. We appreciate everybody that follows along and has fun with us as we do this talking racing. But on today's episode, we're going to talk some dirt, and then we're going to go right and left and talk some of the Glen here. So we're going to talk a little bit of high limit, and we're going to talk some Fairbury. So feel like a little bit of change up from the last couple weeks, what we've been talking about. So this will be fun to talk some dirt. So, but before we always do quick check in on the pit crew members, how we doing?
I'm all right. Don't know why. I was dog tired today. Kind of laying on the couch, and I'm like, ooh, I could pass out right now. And I mean, I slept in, went to bed fairly decent, just dog tired. Thankfully, when race time came around today, as we record on Sunday, I was up and at 'em and I was good to go after that. But she was a little bit of a struggle this morning.
Yeah, it was actually kind of a. I still had to visit the workplace on Friday, but had a wedding Friday, so that made Friday feel like a long weekend. And that was good. That was fun. Just made for a long night on the trek home, but no, I mean good. Haven't really done much. Really just been in. Honestly, it's not been real warm, but just enjoying the sunshine. At least I can look outside and be like, "Hey, the sun's out today." It's not real warm, but the sun is a positive thing to see. So that's been a little bit of a refreshing thing to see as we've made it through what has been a rough spring for storms already. So,
Yeah, yeah, I haven't been totally dialed in racing world. As Friday, I'm a homeowner, so that's kind of scary. Um, and yeah, yeah, just like walk into the utility room and you're like, fuck, if anything breaks in here, can't call landlord. So that's yeah. Anyways, so yeah, that was that long drive back. This today, get back. So a little bit. Haven't been able to catch all the racing action, but catching glimpses and highlights when I can.
Can't
So
believe you prioritize that over racing, but I mean, to each his own.
yeah. Well, you'd be love to find out that I packed a tote and took a tote down there, and Carolyn did nothing but roll her eyes when I rolled out the old purple "Welcome Race Fans" Hoosier banner that Kellen's got over his left shoulder. So that
Hang that in the foyer when people walk in.
yeah. So anyways, got an eye roll out of that, but yeah. Anyways, chaotic weather was down in Iowa City was like 75 degrees on Saturday. To walk outside and big guy like me, like just immediately sweat beads rolling off the forehead. So that that time of year again. But anyways,
Get that
you know,
utility bill up.
so you know you're out of shape. You like walk outside, go, wow, just went up the stairs and I got sweat rolling off my forehead. But um, let's talk let's talk some news here. Um, got kind of a wild um wild section of news here from multiple disciplines. So we didn't even talk about it beforehand, or unless you two did.
Nope.
Who
I
wants?
guess I could take first a little bit.
Oh, I'm green.
I'll take the okay.
Makes that easy. Yeah, so starting out with some dirt racing news, and really these are all ride related, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
First one being Jacob Allen, the Shark Racing team have decided to park the 1A sprint car effective immediately that was driven by Ashton Torgensen. So now he is out looking for a ride. Per a post from Dina Allen, it was referring to a loss in or near the family. They're not selling or quitting, just some circumstances have come up on that ride. Ashton did run this weekend with the World Outlaws. I forget the team, but to be determined if he's going to be running any future races with the World Outlaws going forward. Speaking of World Outlaws and rides, and this came out 30, 40 minutes ago.
Called 6 o'clock. Yeah.
Yeah, Scott Boguski and Three Stooges Racing have mutually parted ways. They were one of the other new teams that started the World Outlaw season. And so this comes off the heel of Scotty Thiel parting away with Greg Wheeler. Now Scotty Boguski has parted ways with his team. And then finally, Freddie Carpenter has dropped off of the Lucas Oil Series. Obviously, the rising costs kind of took into a part of that. Not a great season going on so far, so decided to hop off the National Trail and just kind of do the pick and choose of the regional series.
Yeah, for sure.
Sometimes when that happens, that feels like a little bit of a get right move. Like,
Yep.
hey, let's
It's a weight off a guy's shoulders a little bit, you know.
let's start getting before we are forced to go someplace. Let's build some confidence, get some good finishes at some tracks that we're solid at. So Fast Friday, you'll see him around, no doubt about that. But I'll take these next two here, hopping into some asphalt super late model news. My forte. Casey Klein and Trevor Christiani Racing have parted ways after nearly 2 years of pro and super racing. And to be determined what that car does, as it was signed up to run the full ASA Stars Platinum program. So stay tuned on that one. And then some local news up here in the Midwest. A guy that we love following is Ty Fredrickson, and he announces he will be back with Nitro Motorsports at Elko Speedway on June 27th. So we will see what that comes of that. He just last weekend, was that 2 weekend? No, last weekend. Got a big, massive Toyota decal on the front of that car now. So, yeah, hopefully that helps him go faster in whatever he sits behind the wheel of.
Yeah, he ran decent at the race a year ago. He ran top five for quite a bit of it as well.
Yeah.
NASCAR news, two little bits for you. Ryan Blaney, quote unquote, long-term extension with Penske Racing. So he's pretty much locked up. Let's be honest, he'll retire there.
Foreseeable future.
Yeah, right. Like, just kind of seems like one of the moves that, like, he'll just spend the rest of his career there. So, not shocking at all.
Cue up Frank the Tank, locked up.
Yep. Next one. The free agent buggy for Colleague, they announced their next guy. Travis Pastrana, Charlotte, May 22nd. So that is who they have decided to put in that automobile for that race. And then in kind of a unrelated to Circle Track, but more the car community. This one circulated quite a bit. Kyle Loftus, owner of 1320 Video, owner and founder. He passed away unexpectedly Tuesday, May 4th. He is, I mean, most notably known for his production with 1320 Video, but also, as we talk about Cletus and his ventures, he's kind of the guy that gave Cletus his first shot, and he gave a lot of the car community their start in one picking up a camera, but also just some of the very large automotive YouTube channels he's kind of mentored and helped along the way. So the impact he leaves behind is insane in terms of the actual just car community collectively. So yeah, that was unexpected news on Wednesday morning. So yeah, that's what we got for news.
I think I had one other that I didn't write down. Maybe I have to check the old X bookmarks, but it's not coming to my mind. So let's keep rolling here. To the high rollers. Let's talk a little bit of high limit at Kokomo. I don't know where you guys want to start. A lot of media and promotion around the Driven to Save Lives. Pretty cool winners trophy as well. All right.
What are you giggling at over there?
Yeah, let's take a TO. Let's take a TO.
I just checked there just to make sure I didn't miss anything. Three potential drivers for the Three Stooges racing team. Zeb Wise, former All-Star champion. Ty Gibbs, proven winner in lower divisions.
Oh God.
Steve Kinzer, 20-time World of Outlaw champion. Stooges, Stoogies, Stooges. Ty Gibbs, proven winner in lower divisions. All right, back to high limit racing. Sorry, folks.
Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, where I just had left off. Just obviously a lot of media and promotion around the Driven to Save Lives, and then the winners trophy and the trophy in general was just badass. So I don't know if you guys want to touch on a little bit of the racing aspect of it or the racing portion of it, or how in depth you guys really want to go in here.
Well, I mean, obviously this race was a memorial race for Bryan Clauson, the first running of it. So yeah, that's why you had a lot of the promotion around the Driven to Save Lives and obviously what his contribution was able to do. But when we did ultimately get racing, again, I feel like Kokomo always just ends up proving to be a hell of a racetrack for sprint cars to race at. Um, they ended up Friday got canceled, so they ended up actually making Saturday a lot higher paying race for everybody that was involved. But some guys bit the dust in this one. Tanner Holmes and Logan Seaver were two guys that caught up in wreck. Zach Campton as well. He had a pretty nasty wreck. Um, but a guy that just he couldn't have gotten there out quicker. Tyler Courtney, just
Oh,
awful day.
the guy, yeah, that's just like you. If you could go back and erase one race from your schedule from the year, he's got that one highlighted 9 times. He wants that race out.
Yep.
Yeah, just couldn't catch a damn break.
Couldn't get out of his own damn way
That too.
at that point.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, solid field. But when it comes down to it, when you get Aaron Reitzel starting up front of any high limit race, you know he's going to be pretty damn tough to beat. And he's won at Kokomo before too, so you know he was going to be a tough customer to beat. It did come with some challenges though. Aaron or Justin Peck was up there, and Rico Aber both gave Aaron a run for his money. Um, Aaron just loved riding that high side. He used the bottom for a little bit, but that high side was what really came into play for him. And it was just able to, yeah, excuse me, was able to hold off the two challenges from them too.
Yeah, good day for Justin Peck. I mean he needed a good day. Rico just does what Rico does, right? Points racing,
Yep.
started second, finished third. He was there at certain moments, challenges. Lap traffic kind of played a little bit of a factor into how that played out. So it just coming up on lap traffic real quick. But another one, Gio Selzy, It's a
Yep.
P4 for him. He just continuously kind of starts to find his groove with this new Spire team. So, um, yeah, it's just especially with Reitzel and Rico, when you start them up front, they're just it doesn't matter where you go, they're going to be tough to beat.
Yep. Got to give a shout out to Tanner Thorson too. He had a left front, got caught up in a wreck, broke, pretty much destroyed his entire left front suspension. In the
Yep,
time that it took to clean up the caution and everything else, because the car flipped at that point, they were able to pretty much replace the entire front end and the left front suspension in
yep,
order to get him back out on track. And again, when you're points racing, it's one of those things that every little bit you can get goes a long ways.
absolutely. So,
Yeah, like you said, Kokomo, I feel like I didn't get to see much of the race, but like you said, Kokomo, you putting that much horsepower in that little bull ring. Um, as a race fan, that's all you can ask for. And so, yeah, that is Kokomo is just awesome track in general.
Mm.
So, um, cool. Going from one bull ring to the next, another track that is a bucket list track. Up here, Lucas was at Fairbury Falls. So, um, I don't know where you want to start. I don't know if you want to start with the B5,
or the
not the
Rocket
B,
one.
not the B5, the Rocket One.
Yep.
Um,
I just
Cash,
before we get
Cash.
too far in this, yeah, he had two wins on the weekend, including this race at Fairbury. Fairbury is just one of those places that when it is prepped right, and they do a really good job of making sure that a large majority of the time it is, that place is just so sporty. You got guys hugging the tires along the bottom, and then you got somebody like Pierce who's going to stick the spoiler in the fence everywhere he goes, anyways. It just there's two distinct lines that you can race. Damn, is it fun to watch races there when you have two lines of race cars, one around the bottom and one around the top. It's just they're one, it's a little bull ring, so they're on top of each other all the time. But two, it's just there's two very distinct lines, and it just that place looks insane to watch. So the more I watch a Fairbury, that's got to be a track we got to get to at some point. So yeah, talking on the race a little bit. It was a fairly clean race for the most part. Sheppy started up front, so you knew he was going to be tough to beat. That Rocket one is they're starting to put them together here, and they're starting to really roll. So that crew is going to be dangerous. But kind of a couple other guys as we just kind of talk about it. Bryan Shirley, um, he ran well again and improved that Prater Classic title wasn't just a fluke, and that wasn't a 4 a.m. race that he won. He ran really well, ended up finishing third. Um, but he had a really good car as the race went along. Um, Nick Hoffman, by golly, found a way to get to the racetrack. Let's start there. Um, Between the hauler issues and not getting to move and borrowing a hauler to get to the racetrack and that whole deal. He got there in damn, he had a good race car too. Ended up finishing second. He just kind of slowly picked away at it and found his way on the podium. That was in a hell of a field of cars. He finished ended up finishing second. So again, he's getting there. When we talk about a couple of years ago, he had the run at trying to win the PDC
Mhm.
when he led all of them laps. So again, kind of showing that he can win, can be really good and win races there as well. But I mean, for the most part, when you look at the top 10, kind of a couple other notables. Josh Rice finishes seventh. He went 16-7. Clay Harris is another guy that is kind of starting to find speed with Lucas Oil. He went 12-8. And Jason Fager, again, just kind of an Illinois bull ring guy. He goes 8-6. and finished the sixth. So, yeah, I just had to mention that race just because it is, um, Fairbury is such, it's a racy racetrack, and it's just so fun to watch because there are two really, really distinct lines that are both very fast as well. So, yeah, hell
I'll
of a
just say
show.
on the opposite side of that, another struggle for RTJ.
Yeah,
Had to run in through the B main again. Had his
yeah,
little scuffle with Tyler Erb, and then Hudson O'Neill ends up getting piled into them as they're sitting
yeah,
up in the cushion. So I mean, you have two of your content, really three, because Devin Moran also had problems. So you had
yep.
three of your top five in points all have issues at Fairbury. Um, Hudson still came out with points lead, but by God, everybody else is going to be reeling them in if they keep picking off runs like this. And yeah, if Bishop is getting in his stride, from his World Outlaw days that he's going to be a tough guy to beat.
Yeah, they closed up the gap a little bit on Huddy. He's the point leader. Moran's 35 back, and then you got to go with Shep. He's 135 back, but they're going to start to close the gap here with the way that Rocket One is running. So, um, that points battle I would expect to tighten up across the course of the summer. So, yeah, just thought I did mention that race just because it is. I love watching races at Fairbury. We got to get there at
Yep.
some point, but
Cal, who's the drivers you mentioned? Fager. Oh, wild card. If you want to put a wild card on a guy when he shows up to a track, Josh Rice.
Yep.
You either gonna not know he's there, or he's gonna be on your broadcast all night long. I feel
yep,
like he's a guy like you get to Eldora, and it's like, all right, you go down the pecking order, and it's like you go through your heavy hitters: Davenport, Pierce, Moran, O'Neill, Shepard, and then all of a sudden you just get the wild card, Josh Rice, bad fast. So, yeah, that was the other one I was gonna say. If I want to give a wild card guy to super late model driver, I'd give it to Josh Rice. But
I
um,
do I do want to also throw a hat in the circle for Jason Vager. Like obviously he's from around that area, and when he gets himself into a race, an A main, he can put up with some of the big guys.
oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. He likes the little Illinois bull rings. He's an Illinois guy. That just when you do it all the time, it is your driving style or it fits your driving style. But yeah, he's a guy that can very quietly find himself in the mix in a hurry.
Yep.
and one of our tire changer, his best friend that we met at Cedar Lake is actually a Jason Fager fan.
Oh,
Yep, absolutely.
Anyways,
Absolutely.
yeah.
spitting lies over here.
Anyways, we met a fan at Cedar Lake who just decided to just make themselves welcome into our circle of festivities at Cedar Lake, and he was a Fager fan, and he let us know. So, uh,
Oh, he let
if,
us know.
as he was sitting there, what was he drinking? Sipping himself some by himself. He rolled up with his van and a bottle of Crown
Yep, on the
Yeah.
rocks.
on the rocks. Yeah. Anyways, and he was a Fager fan.
Oh my God, that's an
Yeah,
experience we will never, boys, we will never
That
forget.
entire weekend.
yeah,
Yeah. Oh my God, how could I forget the 2 hours on the way home?
yeah.
Anyways,
Anyways, um, yeah. Let's keep rolling here. Going from a bull ring to going right and left here. Obviously, we had a cup race today, um, at the Glen, and needless to say, when anytime you go right and left, who's the favorite? It is,
SVG.
yep, and it was the SVG show again. So, um, I was on the road driving today, so I didn't get to see really any of it. So I will let you guys um, drive the conversation. Then I did see some highlights and some stuff come up after the race, so I will chime in here as we go. So, where do you guys want to start?
I mean, it's an SVG show, right? Like the fact that we were kind of talking about this during the race was like we we've been at this a couple years now with SVG running races with us up here, right?
Yep.
I say up here with us, but running races in NASCAR.
Yep.
If you haven't, Harvick mentioned on the broadcast, if you haven't figured it out by now, you're not going to. And the only way you are going to is if you put him in one of your cars.
100%.
Like, just how he can be so much better than everybody else on these road courses. And especially like when he came and made that green flag pit stop towards the end of the race, and he was 29 seconds back after that pit stop, you're looking at him like there's no freaking way. I thought he strategized himself out of a win.
And then they started doing some math, and he was 2 seconds a lap quicker. And then they're going, he's going to get there with 2 to go. And then he got there with 8 to go.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, the leaders had to back up a little bit because the fuel mileage was an issue. And I think it was 11 to go. They came on the radio and they cut Zillich loose to just turn the wick up. Well, then he started racing with Gibbs for the lead, and I think they kind of wore each other out a little bit. Obviously, they were on a little bit older rubber anyways, but those two kind of got to racing. Well, Zillich locked it up once or twice or 3 times. Well, then he had a flat, and that kind of wrecked his day. But when SVG put on a clinic, I mean, it was literally just, you're just waiting for him to get there. It's all
Yeah.
it was.
And the way that you just saw that gap close in too, just just built the ass on all these
Oh,
guys, right?
no, there's no other way to put it. He literally was 2 seconds a lap faster.
Made up 29 seconds in 17 or 18 laps, and then he pulled away by another 7 seconds afterwards.
Yep. I mean, it was just like, strategy or not, it wasn't going to make a difference.
No, no,
So, yeah, I mean, did we expect, was the result what we expected? Yes.
absolutely.
The way that it played out, I don't know if we'd expected that to go the way it did, but man, it was cool to watch.
Oh, yeah.
Very fun to
Yep.
watch because when they cut him loose, it was, have at her, buddy.
Yep. I
And
mean,
he was just gobbling the field up.
and for the most part, he did it the hard way, right? We had insanely long green flag runs
You know,
in this race, separated out by a couple of cautions that just, again, everybody was kind of their own strategy. That's the other thing. Did we have a caution that should have been thrown that didn't?
we've kind of called, one, we did, and it was no one's fault with that 10. So the 10
Yep.
gets blown on the track, we get that, whatever, we group them up. The fact that Fox panned away from Cody Ware, who had literally, there's a picture of the backside of the fence. He knocked it didn't knock it over, but the fence was leaned like this from where he had hit.
After he went through the tire barrier to do that.
Correct. My God. And you kind of saw it happen on the camera, and then they panned away from that in a hurry. But yeah, that was a rough one. I mean, the way he hit in the in-car video, that probably should have been a caution to check on him.
Oh, yeah.
I think they should have threw that just to check on him, but yeah, I don't know, but yeah, that was kind of the one. But like, other than that, I mean, really, it was just tires meant something finally, which was good. Um, I think that was a good to finally see that tires meant something, and I think that
Yep.
was, it meant something to come early. It meant something to have an advantage on that and to let strategy play out a little bit. So, yeah, that was good to see in terms of just the package itself.
Yep. Obviously, great run by Zillich. Kind of a much needed run up until he flatted his own tire,
Yep.
locking up the tire as much as he did. Uh, Wow. Logano had himself a good run going up until it wasn't. Um, which talk about just an awful stretch of races for him.
Oh my God, I saw the statistic. His best finish in the last like five races is 30th at Kansas. A notorious 39th at Talladega. Now I get it, it's Talladega, but like
Correct.
he had a 30th, a 39th, a 36th, and then what did he finish today?
Um,
I mean, the statistic was it was just like it's sickening, kind of.
37th today.
Jesus, like 30th, 39th, 37th at Texas, 38th at the Glen. Like his average finish right now in the last four or five races is like 35. Like, yikes.
Sorry, I had the wrong results. 38th.
Yeah. I mean, bad.
What's a guy got to do? But, right? So we're talking about a three-time champ struggling here. Well, we can't forget about Hendrick Motorsports.
Hendrick Motorsports had a historically awful day.
Like,
I saw that this is the first time this has happened in like how long? But
2005,
they haven't had a car finish in the top 20.
2005.
Yeah, I saw that stat. That you want to talk about.
It
I
I
feel
gotta
like
ask I gotta ask the question: is the red button getting a little bigger for that camp?
if it's that button is starting to shine a little bit. I tell you what, if that button doesn't get, you got two races here, Dover, which they're historically good at, and
Yep.
and the Coke 600, which is always like that's your make or break point as far as what the rest of the season's going to look like. Depending on how those two races go, even with Chase Elliott's two wins, yikes.
I feel like we've been on this train most of the year, asking what's going on with that camp because it they're just. I mean, going back to the Bristol race, I think it was in William Byron. I mean,
Yeah.
historic. Yeah,
And that was
you
just
want
on
to
pure
say
speed.
just
They earned getting lapped.
Yeah.
dude, nothing wrong. And that like how many times has the old engineer iRacer and Rudy Fugle ever get miss it like that? Yeah, I don't know.
No,
The concern level for Hendrick Motorsports,
It's starting to get a little
as
concerning.
that little red emoji that goes like this, yeah, it's we are now down and it's going up. So
I now you could
the
say that.
48 car has been we've been talking about that for 2 years.
Yeah. No, I will say the 24 car he got turned and then run into that incident. Kind of understand to a certain degree. Also, shouldn't have been back there to begin with.
Correct. They were running back there to start with.
That's the old adage of you. It's run with the squirrels, you get your nuts cracked. Like that's how this goes. So I just, yeah, you could say incident, but like that car shouldn't be back there.
Yep. I mean,
Chase Elliott's a recent Watkins Glen winner,
yeah, it was at one point in time probably the best road course racer in the series.
winning the Roval, winning the Glen. Like the dude, never forget that time that Harvick tried to run him over and he chased him down and Harvick just slammed her into the tire barrier, had him shaking in his boots. But no, I mean like yeah, the concern level for that whole camp is sky high right now.
Hmm.
So, yeah, I don't know.
It's got me thinking about another all-time classic. I think it was Bubba and Kyle Busch. Who was Kyle Busch banging doors down the front stretch with?
John Hunter Nemechek.
No, this is a couple years ago.
Oh, I
I
don't
think it
know.
was. I think it was Bubba, Kyle Busch, and Bubba
Oh, yeah, I know
coming.
what instance you're talking about. I just don't remember who was involved.
They were banging the shit out of each other's door the whole
Yeah,
down the whole front stretch. Kyle Busch was one
yeah.
of them.
I think it was Bubba.
Anyways, off of that storyline, I didn't see exactly what happened, but sounds like we got some Toyota drivers not thrilled with each other, Bubba and Christopher Bell post
I don't
race.
know why. I never did I
I
miss
saw
something?
I saw a video on Twitter. They were coming down to the end of the lap there. There's that left-hander right before the right-hander get to pit road,
Yeah.
and Bubba wanted to pit, and I was watching. It was Bell's in car, and they said 23's pitting. Bell didn't give him the line, and he ran his line in there, and Bubba had to check up to get down to get in to pit. But
Hmm.
yeah, those two seem to have a little friendly conversation after the race too. So
You ask, you ask what Logano's got to do. What's a guy got to do? I mean, for him, change the playoff format.
he's not in a good spot. I'm just
He's
saying.
somebody. He's somebody though. We've been talking about like he's at the forefront. And he loved the last format because I mean I feel like the last couple years he's been this guy, and
He's
then
been a
he finds a way to get a win. He locks himself in, and then he just crawls his way from 16 to 12, and so on
Yeah.
and so forth. So yeah, I don't
he
know.
was
It's
he was pretty vocal about the change to begin with.
yeah. So
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of forget that little old Ty Gibbs. Not only is he fast, I kind of forget that he's a decent road racer.
Yeah.
Actually,
hey, I'll throw hands up. I didn't get to watch race, and but I didn't get to make any fantasy changes. Ty Gibbs earned the right. Got the first start in the lineup this year today. So
Oh,
wow.
yeah. So and that paid off there. I actually think I picked him on the pick 'em as well.
I did
Yeah, I
not pick
did.
him on pick him
And he got beat by McDowell.
by
Yeah.
one spot.
So yeah. But yeah, Ty Gibbs. He he I don't know what he's done, but he's figured it out. So um
Yeah, just kind of looking at the race results today. I mean, again, it's what we expected. It wasn't the way we expected it to happen, but like McDowell's a good road course racer. He finished second. Gibbs third. Briscoe fourth, who's pretty decent there. Reddick just continues to find his way into the top seven or so. He finished fifth. You know who showed some life today? And I'll be the first one because a couple weeks ago we called Trackhouse a glorified RCR. That was episode 123. I had to look back to check on that. You know who actually showed a pulse and had two cars in the top 10?
RCR.
RCR. Austin Dillon sixth, Kyle Busch eighth.
I'll be honest, this is not a track I had him doing it at.
No, not at all, actually. Richmond, yeah, I could have seen it, but like this, yeah.
Oh, we know Richmond's gonna be dude's two-time back to back.
Rack him.
Yep.
Connor Zilic puts on tires after he blows that one with like 11 to go and goes and gets the point for the fastest lap.
Yep.
He had a hell of a day, finished 20th. Ross Chastain started up front, finished 27th.
Tyler Reddick. Another top five finish.
Yep.
He's 8 for 12, by the way, on top five finishes.
Yeah, so a couple things. This is kind of my last Cup Series talking point, and then we can carry on. One, we talked about Joey Logano. He's 18th in points. He's 18th in points, and he's 20, 51, 44 back of the cut. SVG is the cut. Well, I can tell you this. I wouldn't be surprised if SVG wins 2 more races this year.
Yep.
Who's in front of the 22? The 19. Again, a guy that put together a really good day. And then you start to look up a little further. Suarez, Priest, Byron, Bell, Bubba, that's 10th. Brad K, 9th. You go below him. Now, these are cars he should all finish ahead of for sure. Chastain, Allmendinger, McDowell, Dillon, Austin Dillon, Zane Smith, Kyle Busch, Eric Jones. That's back to 25th. From there, you can't assume that anyone else is going to stretch that. Bowman, Ty Dillon, Zilich, Ware, Mears, Stenhouse, Herbst. So, yeah, I think the 22, they're not drowning just yet, but the water is up to here.
Mm-hmm.
They're not quite breathing through a straw, but when you're standing in the pool on your tippy toes and your nose is above the water a little bit, that's where they're at. So, yeah.
Any other final thoughts on the Glen?
Checks out.
Yep.
I was going to say checked all the boxes.
Yep.
From what I read. So let's keep rolling here. And we got to give out, oh boy, this one shouldn't even be a conversation. We got to give out the Wheelman of the Week award. And we got 4 nominees. I don't know who wants to take which one.
Go ahead and just rip them.
I'll rip them off right here. Brandon Shepherd, we talked about him. His pockets got a little bit deeper here this weekend. He wins the Flow and the Fairbury in Flow Racing Night in America and Fairbury in only dirt late models on the week. So Brandon Shepherd, he's your first nomination. Caden Honeycutt, he wins 4 races in 4 different cars in 4 different series. Nomination number 2.
And got brought up by Justin Marks.
Yeah, Justin Marks is a big Honeycutt guy.
I really like Caden Honeycutt.
And I don't know if you guys saw post race today. They asked Justin Marks about Project 91, and he said, "Don't forget about it." Nomination number 3, Casey Kane on Casey Kane Friday. He gets his first World Outlaw win in the Anthony Macri car. And boy, if you didn't have a reason to celebrate on Friday night, that was it.
Mm-hmm.
And then last one, this guy, yeah. Anytime you go left and right, it's BTA. SVG bullies the field at the Glen, makes up 29 seconds and 17 laps. So, where do you guys want to start? Or which one do you want to give it to?
I really, really, really wanted to give it to Casey Kane. But then Caden Honeycutt went and did what he did.
The fact that he wins the ARCA race at the Watkins Glen, wins his first truck race at the Glen.
Both his first wins.
That included beating both SVG and Zilich, who were both in that race.
Yep.
Then turns around and he does something that he's been trying to do forever, and that's sweep the cars tour races. He swept both the pro and the late model stock race at Ace Speedway. So I'm gonna have to go Honeycutt.
Dude.
4 different cars with 4 different teams in 4 different series. I mean,
dude, I was
they interviewed him on Saturday morning at Ace before he got in the car. Fellow was looking a little tired.
Yeah.
This is why we don't have a definition of Wheelman. But I'll probably eat some crow after this. But I was going cocaine. I was giving it to Casey Kane on Casey Kane Friday. And
any other week,
I threw it in the group chat. That man has been this isn't official stats, but feels like 497 starts, 484 B mains, and dude gets himself finally in victory lane. So I was going Casey Kane on Casey Kane Friday, but um, obviously this is a majority wins. So Caden Honeycutt, needless to say, whatever he gets behind the seat of, he can drive. So Caden Honeycutt, it is your wheelman of the week. 4 wins, 4 different cars in 4 different series. So
I was gonna say our discipline here was everything.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I don't, yeah, for sure. I
that
mean,
would be
that's,
the Caden Honeycutt. What would that be? The quadfecta?
yeah, whatever you want to
Pretty
call it.
close. Yeah.
The old quadfecta. So Casey Kane or Caden Honeycutt, sorry. Caden Honeycutt is your wheelman of the week.
I wanted Casey Kane so freaking bad, but then
I know.
oh,
So let's keep rolling here. Last thing we got to do here. Um, we got to pick some race picks here. Um, and we are at Dover for the All-Star race. I don't know. We can get into this after the race, how we feel about Dover being the All-Star race, but we can talk about that maybe next week. But let's get rolling here. Who are the race picks this week?
so since we never got a race pick out of you last week, which is kind of our fault.
Yep.
Yeah, sorry, that
Yeah,
was
a
my
little bit of
bad last
everybody.
week.
Yeah.
I think last week's a null and void, which I think in Colin's case is a good thing because we're not been good, which in my case kind of sucks because it'd have been really good.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm nearly 200 back already.
it was null and void, so I think we're just gonna do the same picking order that we had last week's, which means Kel gets to go first for Dover.
Gotcha. Hamlin, defending race winner. Well, spring race winner.
Yeah, I gotcha. You know what? Give me that Gibbs kid.
So we're all staying in the same shop.
Oh
Who's
God,
gonna get it done?
Briscoe.
Give me Briscoe.
Yeah,
I
Wow.
think we're all talking about there's one shop that we don't want to come out of right now. That shop starts with an H. Um, so yeah. Um, I
They're
think
traditionally good here, though.
this might be the first time we've ever been all on the same team. So
yeah.
um we'll see you guys in the shop this week. You guys got any setup tips or anything? Just pass them along. So any other final thoughts here as we wrap up this episode?
Schedule will be out by the time you see this.
Yep.
Just kind of looking at the schedule, kind of. There's a lot. The schedule this week got big. There's a lot of racing going on. We were talking about this before we jumped on. I mean, the World of Outlaws, they go what, Tuesday to Saturday?
The late models Wednesday to Saturday,
When?
Wednesday to Sunday.
Yeah, like it's a little bit of a mini hell tour, kind of almost.
Yeah. Um, it's not a race by any means, but this is a big deal as well. Obviously, we're in the month of May here. This weekend is pole qualifying for the Indy 500.
Yep,
So,
yep. That is also on the schedule. I think this is one we're keeping an eye on, and I think Van Grohl, you'll probably be at this one. Tundra Super Late Models getting their season kicked off. Wisconsin International Raceway.
no, I won't actually.
Oh,
Against my better judgment, I've been telling everybody I've been getting dragged. So I'm just gonna put it on. I'm going to the Luke Combs concert this weekend.
oh, all right,
So
gotcha. But
I'll
no,
be in the
yeah,
vicinity, but not in the right venue.
Yeah, Tundra gets their season. Tundra gets going. They're joined by the Mid American stock cars as well. That'll kind of be the opener for that racetrack too with WIR.
The other one I want to point out too, Eldora Speedway has got the USAC and World Outlaw sprint cars for the Let's Race 2 Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, for sure. High limit or not high limit. Lucas Oil spends the weekend at Eagle.
Yep.
Eagle always puts on good racing as well. So yeah, just a couple to kind of
And
keep an eye on.
yeah, as we wrap this thing up here, we touched on it a little bit earlier in the episode, and we just touch on it now. Weather's getting nicer. Race schedule is getting longer, which means two things. There's a lot more racing in your area, and the sun is coming out more. So if you can, you got a race in your area. Don't be afraid to get out and hit your local short track, whatever it is, dirt, asphalt, whatever it is. Support any form of any discipline of racing that you can. And yeah, this wraps up the 29th edition of the Tuesday Track Talk podcast.
Yep.
So
Yep.
as always, don't be afraid to like, comment, subscribe, and drop your race picks in here in the comments. And we'll see y'all next week for another episode of Tuesday Track Talk.